The leadership deficit. This opinion examines how Pakistan's chronic lack of visionary leadership exacerbates its multifaceted crises. Pakistan's problems seem to multiply by the day and contribute to the country's deepening polarization and instability. This opening sentence serves as the thesis statement by introducing the central issue, a worsening cascade of challenges, fueling national division and unrest. Public protests, insurgency, militant violence, terrorism, center-province friction, disputes over the sharing of water, and government opposition confrontation are happening all at once. Center-province friction is a jargon term referring to conflicts between the federal government and provincial administrations. Government opposition confrontation is a phrase meaning direct clashes between ruling authorities and political rivals. This sentence means that an unusually wide array of conflicts, from street demonstrations to intergovernmental disputes, are occurring simultaneously. This at a time when a fragile economy still has to make the transition to sustainable recovery from temporary stabilization. Fragile economy is a noun phrase meaning an economy vulnerable to shocks. Make the transition to is a phrasal verb meaning to move from one state to another. Sustainable recovery is a technical term for economic growth that can be maintained without relapse. Temporary stabilization is a phrase meaning a short-lived halt to economic decline. This sentence means that Pakistan's economy remains weak and must evolve from a brief, superficial calm toward lasting improvement. What does this say about governance in the country's leadership? This rhetorical question invites reflection on how leadership failures underlie these systemic problems. That despite self-congratulatory advertisements splashed all over the media, fundamental problems wait to be tackled, and governance remains way short of public expectations. Self-congratulatory advertisements is a noun phrase meaning promotional campaigns praising those in power. Splashed all over is an idiomatic expression meaning displayed prominently and excessively. This sentence means that flashy PR stunts cannot conceal the reality that core issues remain unaddressed and governance falls far below what citizens demand. Billboards across Punjab and elsewhere trying to build personality cults do not add up to leadership. Personality cults is a phrase referring to campaigns that glorify leaders rather than policies. This sentence means that erecting signs praising individuals is no substitute for genuine leadership. Nor do PR campaigns on television, which show power holders performing routine tasks, convince many people. PR campaigns is jargon for public relations efforts. This sentence means that choreographed TV segments of officials carrying out everyday duties fail to win public trust. They have a contrary effect by indicating over-anxious efforts to elicit positive public affirmation. Contrary effect is a phrase meaning the opposite result. Over-anxious is an adjective, meaning excessively worried or eager. Elicit is a verb meaning to draw out or provoke. This sentence means that these PR stunts backfire, making leaders appear insecure rather than inspiring confidence. Appreciation is earned by performance, not posters plastered along roads or 60-page supplements in newspapers touting achievements. Plastered is a verb meaning stuck up in a shamelessly conspicuous way. Coursum. Touting is a verb meaning to promote or praise heavily. This sentence means that genuine accomplishments, not promotional materials, win public respect. The plethora of challenges facing the country today calls for competent and bold leadership that understands Pakistan's deep-seated problems and has the will and capacity to solve them. Plethora is a noun meaning an excessive or very large amount. Deep-seated is an adjective meaning firmly established and difficult to change. This sentence means that the wide range of urgent issues requires leaders who are capable, courageous, and committed to real solutions. Muddling through economic, political, and security challenges without a coherent plan or strategy doesn't work. Muddling through is a phrasal verb meaning to proceed in an unplanned, haphazard way. This sentence means that ad hoc responses fail to address complex, interlinked problems, nor does it inspire public confidence about the future. This sentence means that half-hearted governance erodes citizens' faith in what lies ahead. Already successive public opinion polls show a nation bereft of hope in the future. Bereft of is an idiom meaning completely lacking. This sentence means that surveys confirm widespread despair among Pakistanis. An Ipsos survey released last month, for example, found 70% of people felt the country was going in the wrong direction. This sentence provides concrete evidence of the public's negative outlook. Pakistan has had leaderless moments before. This sentence means that periods without strong leadership are not new in Pakistan's history. Individuals have ascended to the country's highest offices in the past without having the capability or any idea about how to deal with long-standing challenges. Ascended to is a phrasal verb meaning to rise or be elevated to a position. Long-standing is an adjective meaning persisting for a long time. This sentence means that previous office holders often lack the skills needed to tackle entrenched problems. Wielding power does not translate into leadership. This sentence means that holding authority is not the same as guiding effectively. That is why rule has not produced governance, and the gap between challenge and response has grown larger. Gap is a noun meaning a space or difference. This sentence means that mere exercise of power without direction has widened the divide between problems and solutions. Politics has been more about power than public purpose. This sentence means that political activity has prioritized personal or party advantage over serving citizens. Today, leadership matters even more given the enormity and complexity of the problems at hand. Enormity is a noun meaning great size or seriousness. This sentence means that now, leadership is more critical than ever because the issues are so vast and intricate. The present vacuum in leadership is, therefore, especially telling and more consequential than ever before. Vacuum is a metaphor meaning a complete absence. Telling is an adjective meaning significant or revealing. Consequential is an adjective meaning having important effects. This sentence means that the current shortage of effective leaders is striking and carries especially grave implications. What kind of leadership does Pakistan need? What is competent leadership? What are the qualities that make effective leaders? These rhetorical questions invite reflection on the essential traits of good leadership. It is, above all, having a vision that captures the public imagination and charts a way that goes beyond the moment to what is possible in the future. Public imagination is a phrase meaning the collective aspirations of citizens. Charts a way is a metaphor meaning lays out a course. This sentence means that inspiring leaders must articulate a forward-looking vision that resonates with people. Effective leadership not only requires setting out a vision, but also a strategy to implement it and forging national consensus to support it. Forging is a verb meaning to form or create, often used metaphorically for building agreement. This sentence means that leaders must pair their vision with a plan and build broad agreement behind it. Leadership means setting a clear direction, decisively embarking on a transformational path, showing courage and willingness to take risks, and overcoming the resistance that inevitably comes from vested interests in entrenched elites. Embarking on is a phrasal verb meaning to begin. Transformational is an adjective meaning radically changing. Vested interests is a jargon term meaning groups that benefit from the status quo. Entrenched elites is a phrase meaning powerful groups deeply rooted in power structures. This sentence means that true leaders must initiate bold change, face opposition bravely, and challenge entrenched power holders. Quaid-e-Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah's leadership embodied these qualities and serves as an example of how impactful leaders can change the course of history. So, this sentence means that Jinnah's vision, courage, and consensus building offer a historical model for effective leadership. But most of those who came after him, including the current crop of leaders, have been both uninspired and uninspiring. This sentence means that subsequent leaders have failed both to think creatively and to motivate others. Leadership also involves setting the highest standards of integrity and having an unblemished reputation for probity. Integrity is a noun meaning honesty and moral uprightness. Unblemished is an adjective meaning without fault. Probity is a noun meaning moral integrity. This sentence means that leaders must be models of honesty and ethical behavior. It means choosing a team that embodies qualities of both competence and integrity. This sentence means that selecting capable, honest advisors is a key leadership task. Indeed, putting the right people in the right job is an essential attribute of a smart leader. This sentence means that effective leaders match talent to tasks wisely. A team should be predicated on merit and ability, not connections, personal loyalty, or considerations of political patronage. Predicated on is an idiom, meaning based on. Political patronage is a jargon term meaning appointment based on favors rather than merit. This sentence means that appointments must be earned by skill, not by favoritism or cronyism. Another ingredient of leadership is the ability to connect to citizens, show empathy for their concerns, understand their aspirations, and respond to them. Ingredient is a metaphor meaning a necessary component. Empathy is a noun meaning the ability to share and understand another's feelings. This sentence means that leaders must relate to people's needs and actively address them. It means winning their trust and motivating them to support the leader's transformational agenda. Winning trust is a phrase meaning to earn confidence. This sentence means that leaders earn backing by demonstrating reliability and inspiring shared purpose. Judged against this criterion, it is apparent how far the country's present leaders in power fall short of this test. Criterion is a noun meaning a standard for judgment. This sentence means that measured by these standards, current leaders perform poorly. The lack of vision is evident. This sentence concisely states that leaders fail to articulate a clear future direction. But so is the absence of a comprehensive, coherent plan to address overlapping challenges. This sentence means that leaders also lack an integrated strategy to tackle the many crises together. Firefighting problems is all that has been on display, which is a stopgap approach that doesn't solve problems. Firefighting is a metaphor meaning reacting to crises rather than preventing them. Or no, stopgap is a noun meaning a temporary solution. This sentence means that constant crisis management provides only temporary relief, not lasting fixes. No credible strategy has been evolved since, for example, to deal with Balochistan, a province in turmoil and where public disaffection has reached a record high. Credible is an adjective meaning believable or trustworthy. In turmoil is an idiom meaning in a state of great confusion or disorder. Public disaffection is a phrase meaning widespread dissatisfaction among citizens. This sentence means that even the long-standing unrest in Balochistan lacks a trustworthy resolution plan. The dispute over the sharing of water between the Punjab and Sindh governments remains unresolved, with federal government leaders looking the other way rather than resolving the canal issue. Looking the other way is an idiomatic expression meaning to ignore deliberately. This sentence means that central authorities avoid tackling a bitter interprovincial water conflict. No vision has guided the current leadership's economic management, which has lacked a serious effort to tackle structural problems that have landed the country in perennial financial crisis. Structural problems is jargon for deep-rooted economic issues. Perennial is an adjective meaning recurring or long-lasting. This sentence means that economic policymakers have failed to address core issues causing repeated monetary crises. Government leaders remain trapped in a cycle of crisis management, prioritizing short-term fixes over long-term solutions, and shying away from the bold reforms needed to break the dysfunctional status quo and unlock the country's growth potential and promote sustainable development. Trapped in a cycle is a metaphor meaning stuck in repetitive patterns. Shying away from is a phrasal verb meaning to avoid. Dysfunctional status quo is a phrase meaning the current broken system. This sentence means that officials keep applying quick remedies while avoiding the difficult reforms necessary for lasting progress. The weak legitimacy of government leaders has denuded them of credibility because controversy over how they were elected in a disputed poll never went away. Legitimacy is a noun meaning rightfulness or acceptance by the people. Denuded is a verb meaning stripped away. This sentence means that persistent doubts about the election undermine leaders' acceptance and trustworthiness. Governance has been ad hoc and characterized by short-term thinking. Ad hoc is a Latin phrase meaning created for a specific situation, often improvised. This sentence means that policy decisions are made on the fly, lacking foresight. The bloated team chosen to run the country does have a few competent professionals, but its overall character has been determined by factors other than merit. A telling example is that top positions are occupied by those with close family connections. Bloated is an adjective, meaning overly large or inefficiently staffed. Telling example is a phrase meaning a revealing illustration. This sentence means that the government is overstaffed with appointments based on nepotism rather than talent. As for another crucial attribute of leadership, which is being able to inspire people and forge a strong connection and trust with citizens, this too is conspicuous by its absence. Conspicuous by its absence is an idiom meaning very noticeable because it is missing. This sentence means that leaders also fail to galvanize or earn the public's confidence. Instead, our leaders are increasingly disconnected both from facts on the ground and the needs and aspirations of ordinary people. This sentence means that those in power are out of touch with reality and public sentiment. They have shown little ability to enthuse and unite the country. Enthuse is a verb meaning to excite or motivate. This sentence means that leaders cannot rally citizens behind a common purpose. They also lack communication skills needed in today's world to reach out to and influence citizens. This sentence means that leaders are ineffective at using modern channels to engage the populace. In his seminal book, Leadership, 6 Studies in World Strategy, Henry Kissinger wrote, "Ordinary leaders seek to manage the immediate. Great ones attempt to raise their society to their vision." Seminal is an adjective meaning highly influential or formative. This sentence means that Kissinger distinguished between short-term managers and transformative leaders. Leaders shape history, he says, when they transcend the circumstances they inherit and carry their societies to the frontiers of the possible. Transcend is a verb meaning to rise above. Frontiers of the possible is a metaphor meaning the limits of what can be achieved. This sentence means that transformative leadership overcomes inherited constraints to unlock new achievements. Pakistan today yearns for such leadership with a vision to break from an unedifying past and create a hopeful future for the country. Word yearns for is a verb phrase meaning deeply desires. Unedifying is an adjective meaning morally or intellectually unworthy. This sentence means that Pakistan desperately needs leaders who can abandon past failures and inspire optimism. It's time for citizens to make a collective effort to demand a better leadership. This closing sentence is a call to action, urging the public to insist on higher standards from their leaders. The writer is a former ambassador to the US, UK, and UN. Published in Dawn, April 21, 2025,